They know that I'm on a magic mountain. So many calls, man, I stop counting.
So, just finished Connor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. One of the best fights I've ever seen, no doubt. One of the best fights I've ever seen, and there's no doubt in saying that. You know, I think the right winner. I think Chris Eubank Jr. was the right winner. I think he won that fight. I think his father showing up was pretty dope. No one expected that. No one saw that coming. We still don't know if we were worked or if that, they fixed their relationship overnight or whatever. We still have no idea. Well, I think towards the end of the fight, Chris said he didn't expect him to be there either. So maybe they worked things out overnight, but doesn't matter. Whatever. Your winner, Chris Eubank Jr. And like I said, probably the best fight I've ever seen. It goes between that, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 1. I'm not a boxing purist, so I'm not going to sit here and name like fights that, I'm not going to sit here and do that because I can't, to be honest with you. Just from what I've seen, those are two of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. And I think the right winner was picked in every one of those fights. Let's not get into that. People want to say Amanda Serrano beat Katie Taylor. Whatever. Have your own opinion. I don't care. Katie Taylor was picked the winner, and Chris Eubank Jr. was picked the winner. And I think both of those people won those fights. But let's not get off topic. Like I said, one of the best fights I've ever seen. One of the best fights anyone should have ever seen, right? I didn't really have a prediction going into this fight. Like I said, I'm not a boxing purist. I don't know too much about Connor Benn. I've seen a handful of Chris Eubank fights. Liam Smith. Did he fight Liam Williams? No, he didn't fight Liam Williams. That was who else did he fight? Damn, let's see. I can't even sit here and name them. I've seen a handful of Chris Eubank fights. But like I said, I'm not a boxing purist. I've never claimed to be, and I never will claim to be. I'm just an average fan that just wants to sit there and watch it on a random Saturday. That's all I am. So again, take my opinions with whatever. But no, that is one of the best fights I've ever seen. And if they do a rematch, which I hope they do, I'm watching that one. There were moments in that fight where you thought one of them was going down. I mean, I got pimples, whatever. That one's almost gone. But there were moments in that fight where you thought one of them was going down. I mean, they were both just swinging and swinging. You're like, somebody has to fall. Somebody has to get on their ass. And they never did. They both stood up the entire fight. And it surprised me. It surprised me a lot. I thought if someone was going to get knocked out, it was going to be Chris Eubank. I thought Connor Benn would have knocked him out. I didn't see Chris Eubank knocking out Connor Benn, though it almost happened multiple times. These two showed they have a chin, for sure. And like I said, I haven't watched every single one of their fights, and maybe you're sitting here looking at me like, what are you talking about? Neither one of them have a chin. Listen, what I do know is that neither man went down in this fight when they probably should have. There probably should have been a knockout in this fight. But there wasn't. There was no knockout. There was no knockdowns, which was crazy. And so I'm telling you here, this is one of the best fights I have ever seen. I have not watched the previous fights with their fathers. I don't really care to, I mean, if it's just on one day, I'll watch it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it, to be honest with you. That's why I'm not a boxing purist, I keep saying that, but it's true. I don't care to be. I just want to watch it and have fun. And come on here and share my 2 cents, And that's what it is, because it doesn't mean much. My opinion doesn't mean that much. It's worth 2 cents. At the end of the day, amazing war between the two, and I want a rematch. Just selfish reasons, just because I thought that was a really good fight. Let me know what you think. Do you think Connor Benn was robbed? I don't, It's hard to throw around the term rob nowadays because it's used so much. I think the right winner was Chris Eubank Jr. But I think Connor Benn showed it was too good of a fight. I mean, when a fight is that close, I don't think you can call it a robbery. A robbery is where one man dominates the entire fight and gets called the loser. That's a robbery. You know what I'm saying? When a fight is that close, I don't know if you can call that a robbery, but whatever. What do you think about it? Let me know. Yeah, I sat right here. I sat right here and watched it. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think, man. Who won? Or do you agree with the winner?
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap.